Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Donovan Sadiq. You are now in the Donovan Sadiq zone, the Donovan Sadiq show. I am Donovan Sadiq, joined by my partner in crime, Demetra K. Controversy. And we call her Controversy because people just cannot stand the truth.
They just be making up stuff on me.
So we had a lot of listeners last time we did our show. A lot of twists and turns in the Kanika Jenkins murder investigation mystery. And I want to take a look at the video, and you guys tell us, get an idea of what's happening. We'll take a look at that right now. So what has been said basically is that the hotel has no video of Kenneka walking into the freezer. What a surprise.
And this is a new revelation.
A new revelation, even though the activist, Jim Brown, Andrew Holmes, who looks like Jim Brown, he said he saw the videotape and how she worked in and saw her going into the...
That's what he did say. That says the video shows that no one pulled her down there. That's right. What he said. That she pretty much her own free will. And I will say this about you, Donovan. Mm-hmm. Ever since this case has broken,
yes,
you have been all over this. You have been on the case.
Get no sleep. Get no rest.
You've been captivated as the rest of
because it's a very interesting case because it doesn't make sense. And what it is you have sheeple and you have people. I'm a person.
Okay.
And what they're out there does not make any sense. And if you've been following these trends that are going on, and shout out this lady named Nene 2 times. She was the one she was like the ghetto chick that was like, and this is what happened with it. I mean, she was on a trail. Yeah. Then there's this guy named Mike Larry, 2010. Oh. And he's been breaking the video.
I saw, you sent me that. He was confusing.
Well, he was confusing, but the point is he was breaking, forget his voice.
I'm not talking about his voice. I'm just talking about the information. Yeah. I'm like, is it her or not her?
Now, remember, you and I have a good thing. We watch movies where you can kind of see where they're leading it. Mm-hmm. So that's where I got my thing was. But big shout out to him for breaking a lot of stuff down. But like I told you, and like I'm telling everybody there, and I've written about it, use your common sense. Mm-hmm. Is what they are telling you plausible?
Okay, but let's do one thing better.
Okay.
And let's digress for a tiny bit.
Okay.
Because not only is it, a big thing that this girl has been found dead in a freezer, but a lot of people have started to turn their attention to her mother and her mother's behavior and some of the things that she's been doing. And
right.
So, and you sent me some stuff regarding it from your leader, Tommy,
my hero, Tommy Sotomayor. And
about questioning her motherhood. And so,
well, it's not even just Tommy. I was questioning it too. Remember, I said last week, I had said the mother doesn't seem to be acting.
Okay, well, specifically, you sent me a video.
Yes. Can you do a split on a dick? That. Yep. The mother with her daughter.
Yes, you sent me that video. Because when you told me about it, I was like, you're joking.
When I told you about Teresa, the hot chick Martin Page, you didn't believe me.
Well, I didn't. I mean, because I'm very green, believe it or not. I'm very green at the age of 46. I'm very green about a lot of stuff. And I just find some things appalling. And so I know that you do listen to Tommy Sotomayor, who is,
okay, often, and a lot of people don't like Tommy. I understand that.
Well, because he's an asshole.
It's his delivery, and I understand that. But as a man, I'm going to say this. Listening through his filter, and you're an intelligent person, I'm an intelligent person. Do you know Tommy gets a lot of his support from women?
From stupid women. Because I'm going to say this right here. Do I take issue with some things that Teresa, the hot chick Martin, has done?
Sure.
Of course I do, but I still just have to go on side of, can we at least wait till this woman buries her child? Now, admittedly, she is doing some things that's kind of like, whoa, that doesn't jive with a mother who should be grieving, but then people grieve differently. You know, sure. For instance, she put the video up on one of her social media platforms of what you just said.
Okay,
her daughter asked the question.
Well, stop and let's take a look.
Okay.
Go ahead. We saw the video. Go ahead. Defend that.
I'm not going to defend it.
You are a mother of a daughter. Did you and your daughter ever hang out
about
and
doing
kick
splits
it?
on dicks and stuff.
No, I'm just talking about kick it. Were you ever your daughter's friend like that? Or were you a parent?
I was friendly with my daughter.
Yes.
There's a difference. But as I was rearing her, I was her mother. Mm-hmm. In that I set an example for her that I wanted her to follow. And I think that's the unfortunate is we don't understand that the things that we do, it does, rough on our children. Mm-hmm. And so if they see us acting upstanding, whatever that is, mm-hmm. then they're probably going to do that. But if they think it's cool to say or ask your mom, can you do a split on the dick? And she says, girl, yeah, how you think you got here? Bam. Then that's what we're going to, think it's okay.
And that's the problem. Tommy talks about there's no accountability. You can't tell black women as a black man anything.
Well, I take issue with Tommy in that he's always dealing in absolutes when it comes to black women.
And that's wrong. But you got to be able to be mature
black
enough.
Idiots. Right, black women are stupid. Exactly. These
and
black
that's wrong.
Motherfuckers can't read.
No, and that's wrong. But what I'm saying is, as a grown person, you should be able to filter out his message versus what you don't like to hear.
But that's not the point, though. I mean, it's, regardless of if he's right or if he's wrong, who is he to talk about that woman like that? I mean, from what we understood and learned about Tommy, he ain't no saint.
And that's true.
He done came up missing from his kids in the child support system. So who makes him the moral
where's
authority?
the show talking about Tommy doing those things?
We're doing that right now.
Exactly. But I'm saying, where's the particular show? But in dealing with Tommy, what I'm saying, I know a lot of people don't like him, but he does report certain things that brings attention to what's going on in our community.
Why? Does he really care? Honestly,
probably not.
Well, why?
But like I said, this is not about Tommy. Of course it is, and
it's not about
and it's his hustle.
Right.
Like I've been telling you all along.
Right.
Okay.
And so here we are.
Right. So here we are.
He has used the death of this child. Mm-hmm. To me, she's a child. She's 19.
She's 19.
Chronologically, she's an adult.
On her thing. Mm-hmm.
He has used the death of this child to benefit from likes, and he gets paid from all the views. Sure. So he is profiting of the death of this child. So he ain't better than her mama.
Right. That's true. Okay. And that's your opinion. Now,
it's right.
What is it that he said that was wrong?
It's regarding
the mother.
Well, he called her a whole bunch of choice names.
Okay, like
a ratchet, stupid.
Well, what would you call a mom that says I'm going to do a split on a dick with my daughter and my stick?
I will call her irresponsible. Okay. Again, the way she parents, I can't necessarily deem it's wrong. It's wrong for me. Wrong for me to I would never parent my daughter or any child that way. Mm-hmm. Just that's wrong for me.
Okay.
And I guess it's wrong for her. Per Tommy, it's wrong. Is it wrong? It's
well, like
creepy.
I said,
it's creepy.
Yeah, it's creepy. Everybody grieves different and things like that. Mm-hmm. And we're gonna get more into the mom in the second part of this thing. Mm-hmm. But we want to get back to Kanika.
Go on with it, because I'm listening.
Okay. As usual, the minute you start talking about black women, it goes far left.
No, it ain't even that we going far left. But we'll get back to it. Go on, brother.
Yeah, okay.
Go on and do what you do.
So, a lot of problems with the Kanika Jenkins death. The narrative that they put out has been found not to be true. The video has been edited, has been proven to be edited to where there is somebody walking behind her.
Okay.
And you can see, like, when she's in the kitchen, that second part where her tennis shoes are disappearing, which is a clear form of editing. There's people in the kitchen with her in the blue hoodie and things like that. And so kudos goes out to all those Facebook, YouTube detectives out there, because I'm telling you, if you guys hadn't dropped this, it would be dropped.
And I would say this, too, on my show that I did this past Sunday. There's a few people saying, well, people be talking about it and, they don't know what they're doing and calling people, FBI, want to be FBI and all this other stuff. And I said, you know what? Yeah, to y'all it might be annoying, but I said kudos and big ups to those people. Your point. At least those people out there, Facebook land, all Twitter and all this other stuff, at least they're keeping this case before the people, because it would have ended up like most cases, especially in regards to black women and black girls who just got swept under the rug. She found in the freezer dead. The end. But because these people were on base and very diligent, whoever is trying to cover this up cannot do that now.
And here's a problem. No matter what you believe about this case, at the end of the day, like I said last week, that video of a freezer that they said she walked into the freezer, that would have shut this whole thing down. End of story. Case is done. But now they're saying there is no video. Now, just use your basic common sense.
But wait, though. Didn't homeboy Andrew Holmes say he saw her walking into the freezer?
Where is that?
You tell me.
But I want you guys to use your common sense here. And let me back to this. You're a business owner. You're an entrepreneur. Now, those of you guys that are from the hood, whatever, you got Ray and Pookie working for you. Okay. You have a walk-in freezer. There's a lot of revenue in that freezer. A lot of your product is in that freezer. You're owner of a restaurant, whatever the deal is. It is common practice to put a camera in front of that freezer. Why?
Well, I'm glad you asked, because we know that in most freezers to that degree, there's usually a lot of meat in there. Like, I'm a vegan, so I wouldn't have no interest in it. But there's steaks,
vegetables,
there's high quality. Chops. And if we're talking about a hotel like the Crown Royal, they wasn't just serving no hamburgers. They was, probably serving some top sirloin or whatever, So, to your
shark
point,
fin soup,
all of that. So, they're going to have a camera, because the last thing we need is for the freezer to get light behind somebody to walking it out of here.
Right. And that is why. And that's standard procedure, because when Ray and Pookie go into the freezer.
Why it got to be Ray and Pookie?
Okay. Ray, Pookie, and Boomquisha. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm trying to be funny. But let's be serious. This is serious business. But when they're coming out of that freezer, and they've got a pallet full of steaks, and we know how we do. Black folks, we love barbecue. We love going out and bringing everybody, over there. How many times have you seen it to where they got like a whole pallet full of steaks, and they're out there just grilling? Because steaks, if you got a good steak, costs you about $12-14. Okay, that's why with all that product in there, to make sure that employee doesn't take that product out to the parking lot, because you're going to get them on video saying, "Well, there's the pallet." There's you coming out of the freezer with the pallet. Right. So deduction, and that's why they do it. That is a standard. So to say that there is no video, Jim Brown said he saw a video of her going into the freezer.
You called this man Jim Brown one more time.
Drew Holmes. So he saw her. The sister said that there is a camera right in front of the freezer. The sister said that. Go back and look at the videos. I'll even put it up here. Look. But she goes and says that, right? Because that is standard. So you mean to tell me that video camera did not work?
Well, also...
they're dummy cameras. They're dumbers, but that one will work.
Right. And then, miraculously, there's a video, the footage of the hotel lobby, that's missing.
However, her leaving the elevator and walking to the hotel lobby.
Right, and the elevator footage is missing, because we know most elevators
major hotels have Jay-Z and Beyonce fighting with Ray Rice beating his wife up. Where are those videos?
Right, and then as you said, the freezer. So the key
common sense. Just use your common sense.
The key components of the videos rather are missing.
Right.
Is it a coincidence? Is it a fluke? Is it did catch it? Right.
They got video of her walking for hours. Okay, if you're drunk, you don't walk for hours.
Is that video for hours?
That's the narrative they're putting out. She walked for hours. You're not drunk for hours. You're drunk for maybe an hour and a half, depending on how much you drink and you passed out.
Drunk to that degree, and you're not be on no marathon.
Yeah, you're just not walking around.
Right.
So, like I said, use your common sense. Now, here's the narrative that makes you think that they think you're stupid. Okay, she walks, passes the lobby, goes down this long hall. She's walking around for hours to find a place to sit. As you're walking through the lobby, chairs all in front of that lobby right area. So, and then there's the outside. So you're hot, you're drunk, whatever, you're lit. She didn't go outside. She doesn't sit in the lobby, wait for her friends. And remember, her friends said they left her in the lobby. Where's the videotape of that?
it's on you.
Right. And the story keeps changing with those girls. I'll get back to that later. However, she goes, so she doesn't sit in the lobby where there's obviously chairs and she could be seen and things like that. She's going to walk down a narrow hall, go through left, right, to walk into a freezer that isn't on at that time and sits there.
Because that was the best place she can think of to go.
Of all places, she's going to sit there rather than sitting in a lobby that has a nice breeze probably flowing through it. We're supposed to believe that.
So what's the deal with the girls? What's the story on the girls?
Well, the story with the girls is they said that they left her down at the lobby as they were getting ready to leave, and they all miraculously went upstairs to go get her purse. Okay, where's the video?
Yeah, and we talked about this last time. I just don't think that's... I don't say it's impossible, but...
So where's the video?
But even still, there's no video. It doesn't make sense that you got a drunk homegirl who's drunk out of her mind, and you three are going to go together to go get her one purse. Right. I can see she had luggage and stuff. You're going to go get her purse, and you're going to leave her all alone? That doesn't make any sense. Right.
And remember, I told you, their stories are still... I'm not exonerating them from anything. This thing is very suspicious, because here's another thing. Use your common sense. Those have been in hotels. And I've been in hotels as a member of the Air Force, traveling the world. We checked into hotels. When you come off that elevator, especially if you go to Vegas... You go to Vegas right now on a Merriweather fight or a fight weekend, they're not going to let you. They usually have somebody sitting right there.
Let me see your room key.
Yeah, let me see your room key, whatever it is. And they have a video there. Right. So let's say the guy's not there. You go to any major hotel, there's a video of you getting off of the elevator, and there's a video of you as you walk into the lobby, or somebody who's coming from the lobby to the elevator. Because that way it shows what's going on.
And then how many times have we seen people come up missing, and then on the news or whatever say, well, here's the footage of her.
Him going on the elevator.
She did leave with an unidentified man or whatever the case is. And so, yeah, we do know those exist. I mean, it doesn't make any sense that you have footage of the hallways or whatever the case is, but you don't have footage of the major areas of your hotel, your establishment, your moneymaker.
Right.
What if somebody was like, you had made a good point. Somebody made a mad dash with all your money. You're going to want to have the video of them running out.
Exactly. Or, before these lobbies got these big plexiglass because people are getting their ass beat, you have cameras in the lobby that are active in case you get robbed or there's a ruckus in the lobby, which usually happens. What you mean my car don't work? Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so use your common sense here, people. What the narrative of what they're telling you, if it doesn't seem plausible, you're probably right.
Right.
Using your common sense.
Yeah, and I think, they'll say common sense is not so common, but I think, for
in this case,
well, especially for people who are deemed the Facebook detectives and the conspiracy theorists and stuff, I think intuition has kicked in. Something ain't jiving here.
And again, you got these people putting up false pages, and they're putting up the wrong freezer. The freezer that was demonstrated at one lady at the other hotel is the same exact freezer, and the one that we have a picture of. This is the freezer. It's a sliding freezer. It cannot be closed from the inside. A lady demonstrated that.
Right.
So, use your basic common sense. At the end of the day, somebody closed that freezer. And even the sister said, who worked at a cafeteria before, it's a heavy door. You can't close it.
Right.
Use your common sense. Why is that tape missing? If that door cannot be closed, I'm not saying she wasn't enclosed in there. I'm not saying that.
Right.
Because I said, the freezer wasn't on. It isn't airtight.
Right.
So she would have survived. Bottom line is, somebody closed that freezer door on her.
So let me ask you this, Donovan. Since you have taken, I would say, a vast interest in the Kanika Jenkins case, why do you think people have become captivated by what's different about the Kanika Jenkins case any other case, somebody being murdered?
Well, the funny thing is, for me, what really got me attached to when I heard about this, number one, it's horrific.
Yes.
The fact, you think about a freezer, you think about being frozen. This girl was supposedly solid.
Okay.
Which, again, doesn't make sense, because was she frozen or was she... You know what I mean?
Was she put there and
right.
To be
because here's what I think. Here's one thing we do know, using your common sense. You got people say, oh, well, she was carried down from the room dead. No, the video shows she's walking in a zombie state and somebody is behind her walking. So we know she wasn't killed in the room. We know that. Number two, we know that she led a Ratchet lifestyle. Let me
get back to that.
And we're going to get back to that, dealing with the mom. So I don't know this young lady's background, whatever. You're in a room full of thugs. You want to leave that room. For some reason, it's obvious you are around people that get into shit. Okay. So 2 or 3, whatever facts that I have. The thing of the matter is, she's in that freezer. Somebody put her in that freezer, killed her while in that freezer. I don't think she froze to death. I think she died.
She was already dead?
She froze.
Okay.
Because, remember, the freezer wasn't on. Somebody turned it on.
Okay.
According to reports.
Okay.
So if I've already killed you, and I hope the coroner report will come out.
Right.
People say, where's the toxicology? All the toxicology is going to show you is she had some kind of narcotic.
Right, not how she died per se.
And the thing is, I was stationed in Alaska. If you get frozen to death, that damages your tissue significantly when you're frozen like that. So that's really not going to show a lot.
So if you think about it, because a lot of people are saying maybe her organs were harvested or stolen or whatever. So if, per your theory, when you're frozen, the tissues and everything are already damaged, perhaps was she murdered and then took her or however it was, took her organs and then put the body in there?
We don't know. Like I said, because that's not enough time to do that. Again, there was other.
It was missing for 36 hours.
Right, the body was missing. But remember, there were other men and people in the video.
True.
And remember, there was a girl with white swoop. They called her Dusty and Swoop Bang.
Oh my God.
Whatever the nicknames people are giving these people. And they saw her in the kitchen area. Now, I don't know what narcotic she was on, bath salts or whatever. See, this is why.
Did you say some bath salts?
Well,
is that still fashionable?
Yeah, I think they're still using that too.
Wow.
But see, but this is why we always tell you, there's never a movie where you use drugs and there's a good outcome. There's never a movie. We're in Hollywood. We're away from LA. There has never been a movie where the person used drugs and something good happened.
Right.
It's never happened. Lady sings the blues. Man, love that woman. That's Mahogany.
Oh, you're right.
That's Mahogany now. Sorry, 1975. Mahogany. Believe me. Anyway, ma'am, if you. So with this thing, why it's captivating is the fact that their narrative doesn't make sense. And for me, the horrific point that the girl was frozen, just the thought of that.
Right, that is horrible.
Which is like, whoa, that's what drew me to the attention. And then when I read the narrative, that wasn't right. But then third thing that really got me to it wasn't on the national news. That Natalie Holloway, if it was a white chick.
We've already talked about that.
If it was a white chick, boom, it would have been out there.
Right.
But how they tried to bury it. And then I sent a video out off of face up to those people on Facebook that put that video up about the harvesting that's been going on and how kids around the world are missing. That one guy, I don't know if you saw the video. In the video, the guy said, you got kids black kids here in LA that are waiting to be adopted. But yet people are going to other countries adopting black children from Somalia. Now, Somalia is a failed state. Mm-hmm. So how do they keep track of their records and what happened to that child?
That's a good question.
Think about it. Think about it. And my question with Miss Jenkins is, why would they target her?
And that's actually, I think, a brilliant question. Why her?
Yeah, why her?
Was she set up? Was she happened? Just somebody saw her wandering? Here's a prime opportunity. Why her? Right.
Like I said, there's other men in the video. The video's been edited. People have been edited out of the video because you can tell she's being watched. She's in a zombie-like state. And the way she's like leaning, I'm not even drunk and I would fall in the angle she was leaning. You can see she's leaning on somebody. Right. There's a 3-second video where she's bumping against the wall. That is somebody holding her up and kind of going against the wall. She's in a zombie-like state. Now, personal responsibility. At the end of the day, this young lady is dead because of decisions she made. I don't say she deserves to be dead. What I'm saying is, you're in a room full of thugs. You're underage. You're 19 years old. You're not supposed to be drinking, yet you chose to drink. I don't know if they spiked her drink. I don't know what happened, but at the end of the day, she put herself in that situation.
All right. Well, speaking of which, as we talked about earlier, you had some things to say about Teresa the Hot Chick Martin.
Okay. When I talked about living the Ratchet life, and I wrote an article on it. And a lot of people agreed with me, and I got a lot of people that said, "Oh, you, nigga, please." Of course, women who want to defend that.
Well,
bullshit.
and then to that point, your assessment is that perhaps she grew up ratchet,
yes,
or
she grew up in a
raised
ratchet. Right.
Explain that.
And okay, what I'm saying is this. I'm a military kid, so I don't know anything about the ghetto. I don't know anything about, you are a product of your environment. Right. That is a true statement.
True.
So if my mom is ratchet and I'm living off food stamps and just getting by, that's all you know. That's all you know all the time. You can't teach what you don't know. Mm-hmm. So, is she an angel? I don't know. Was she a virgin? I don't know.
Well, what specific issues do you have with her mother?
With her mother is...
Because I read the whole little, piece that you did, which I thought was, an excellent write-up from your opinion.
Right. Well, I have a problem with the mom per se, but the problem I have with the mom is that as a parent myself, your kids have enough friends. You have to be a parent at all times. You're cool with your daughter. I'm cool with my son. But at the end of the day, you're 19 years old, just graduated continuation school or whatever this academy you graduated from. You just got this great job. You're not leaving my house at 11:30 at night to go to some party somewhere. I don't care how grown you think you are. I'm a grown man myself. If I go visit my mom, I am not staying out. Or I could, but at the time, though, I still call my mom and say, well, Mom, go ahead and lock the door because I'm not coming home.
Right. So
my problem is, instead of being more of a parent, she was more of a friend. Mm-hmm. And that's what got her daughter. It contributed to getting her daughter killed.
Well, I mean, because per Tommy's point, she...
Big up, Toms, big up!
Boo! She wasn't a good parent.
She wasn't a good parent.
And the problem that I have with Tommy is that he, was a very weak attempt, but tried to attach that to all black women.
And he shouldn't do that, because that isn't all black women. Because like I said, there are so many examples of women in my life that are phenomenal women. And I'm surrounded by women constantly. Yes. Constantly good women. The only women that are ratchet are the ones that I bring around. Okay, because I like ratchet women. I do. You said I could be in a party like that and have a good time with those type of women. But would I take you to a party like that? Hell no. I wouldn't take you to a party like that. We'd be at the Papa Do's kicking it, but upstanding type is not going to go into a hotel like that. We're going to be at a hotel, where you could be seen. And
I would say too, and I, again, Donovan is not asserting the point that this is why she's, or are you?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
No, I'm not.
Why this is why she's dead,
no.
Or nor does she deserve to be
nobody
dead.
Deserves to be
due
dead.
to how she was raised.
No.
So, let's just get that out the way. I have seen and heard a lot of women also take her mother to task and say that we, especially as black women, we've got to do better.
We've got to do better.
Because what a lot of people don't realize is, and we're old enough to realize this, but a lot of people don't realize is black women used to be the standard.
Yes.
We used to be the standard in how to raise good children. On how, we sent our children out the house, how they looked as far as, they had on, their hair was combed, their faces were clean, and just to the point to where white people, because hell, we raised during slavery, we raised the white people's kids.
Thank you.
And even in the Jim Crow era, which is you have the nanny, the domestic, or whatever the case is.
Watch. What's that show? God, it's escaping. There was 2 versions of it. With the daughter didn't want to be black.
Oh, Imitation of Life?
Imitation of Life.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. That's a good example of how the black women were perceived.
And hell, both of my grandmothers were domestics. Right. That's what they called them back in the day. They were domestics, and where they took care of not only their children, they went to work and took care of white people's children. My grandmother on my father's side was actually Jamie Lee Curtis's nanny. And, domestic servant, I guess that's what you would call her. So
Jenkins,
Yeah, so black women used to be the standard. And I would like to say, not even used to, because I know that I am the standard when it comes to raising my daughter. And I've raised, a few of my nieces and nephews as well.
Absolutely.
But so the point that I'm making is a lot of black women have actually taken her mom to task and saying that's not how we're supposed to do things.
Right.
We're supposed
that's not
to
the example. You're
be the example.
Right.
And so to me, again, this is not an indictment on her mother saying that this is why your daughter is dead.
No,
but
not at all.
I think it's a mistake maybe it's too soon, but I would think we would be mistaken or remiss to not talk about it.
Right.
Because it is that elephant in the room, in that her mom is posting these videos even after her daughter's death. Some people have taken issue with the daughter with the wings and the booty shorts, and she put that on her her cover page. And then this video that Tommy,
the hot chick, you call yourself the hot chick.
Right,
Come
video
on.
that Tommy posted of her
doing
her daughter. Then this is a video for you guys haven't seen it. Show it of her daughter Kenneka asking her, "Can you do a split on a?" And then the mama says, "Girl, yeah, how you think you got here?" And then she do a split. Do a split. So
and puts her tongue out.
So yes, not just black men, but it is black women taking her mom to task and saying, "That's not how you do things. You don't do things that way. You don't, as you say, you don't." Is a time in a place to be your child's friend. Like me and my daughter are friends now, but she's always.
If you're going on ladies' night, you're going to the movies.
Well, we don't go on ladies' night.
But I'm just saying, spending time. You're going to the movies, spending time together.
Yeah, because even though she'll be 25, I'm still her mother figure, and I'm still cognizant of the fact that my daughter is not. She's grown by age, but she's still a young woman that needs to be molded and have an example.
Well, as old as we are, we are still never too old not to learn from our elders.
Right. And so, again, I mean, I don't know
everything.
Kenneka's mom or any of those type of people, but just from the narrative that Kenneka's mom has put
out there, right?
It's just like...
I mean, I wouldn't have put that video up. Even if it existed, I would not put that video up.
And I'm in PR. And I always, if I was advising her, I would say, yes, I understand that video is near and dear to you. Who am I to tell you that is not? However,
last time you guys were, I understand that.
Yes.
However,
you want people to take you seriously. Nobody can ever say that you're not grieving, but out of all the things you could put up, do you think there's something else you could put up? Because you don't want to hide the narrative from your daughter being missing or not missing, but dead. And you trying to find out what happened to her. Do you want to hijack the narrative with putting a video such as that? And let's be honest, it's very vulgar.
Right. And let me piggyback on that. I took law in college. This is what I'm going to tell you. There is a liability. The hotel is going to be sued for a liability issue of not securing that kitchen. Right. Now, the murder, I don't know anything about. That's a different situation because she was murdered. Right. Some way, some fact. The narrative that if I was a lawyer, I would use is this girl's ratchet behavior, and she contributed to her own death. Underage drinking. They're going to go and look at her background, and they're going to that video saying, "Look, I mean,
I've also taken a few law classes, and I've watched a couple of Matlock and all that other stuff.
Matlock, he'll get to the bottom of it.
But I don't think that if the hotel is using, I don't think if the hotel is going to use that as their reason not to pay.
No. They're going to pay, but what they're going to say is
it's not going to fly.
Yeah, no. They're going for the liability. Right. There's no doubt about that. Right. But what I'm saying is they're going to attack the girl's character.
If they were careful and they cared about their reputation, they would not do that because there was no benefit in them doing that. Already going to write a check. Right. There's no need to already restate the obvious.
Right. Depending on what the money that this woman wants, they might do that. That she contributed to her death. Because in a liability, well, think about it. In a liability situation, okay, well, judge.
Okay, I get what you mean with that.
She was drunk.
Yeah.
She was underage drinking. Personal responsibility. That's going to come up in a liability issue. She contributed to her death.
In California, we have some pretty strange rules and things like that. We've read a...
Build the wall!
Well,
no, I'm joking. Okay.
We've read and seen...
I live in Mexico.
Plenty of cases to where burglars have broken into people's homes and they have sued and won because they've gotten hurt. Right. The lady, I think, who's taking a law class 101 have heard about the older lady who drank some hot coffee from McDonald's, got burnt. And
right. And I think you tried to slip and fall in my house a couple times.
And I'm going to do it when I leave up out of here, too. Shoes. I got the good shoes on today.
Right, good shoes.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. As somebody who's taken some legal, I'm not a lawyer. Again, that's my disclaimer. I'm not a lawyer. But that is going to come up in a liability issue that she contributed to the death, which is going to lower the number.
If I were their lawyer, and I'm not, don't even have a law degree, I advise them against doing that. Say, hey, write the check, go on about your business.
Right. If they don't accept the offer of the merger, whatever they're going to agree on, and they try to go for more money, that's what they're going to attack her with.
Okay, I get that.
Which could come up.
I get that, but you always, get on me to some degree about not holding fellow women accountable. And I always say, well, how do you hold another woman accountable for the things that she's doing or not doing?
Well, what I'm saying is, I'm not saying you can, you're not responsible for anybody else but yourself and yours. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, if this is wrong, you should say it's wrong.
I have a problem with saying it's wrong.
Should Ike Turner have knocked the shit out of Tina? No, but it made her a better singer.
You know what? You need to go on the hell up here with all of that.
Okay, but it's not right. But this narrative about a man should never put his hand on a woman, that's bullshit.
Okay, well, we know that there are instances where you're going to protect yourself.
Well, it's not even protecting yourself. There are instances where a man needs to put his hand on a woman.
Listen, okay, wait. I'd like to put this disclaimer out. The opinions of Donovan Smith
yes, he's my opinion.
With the other host.
They have nothing to do with her. These are my opinions. A man there does come a time when you might have to put your hands on a woman. She beat up your mama, she burnt your house down, and she kicks your dog. Right there, those are the 3 things that gives you ass-kicking credential, in my opinion. You're not going to beat up my mama. I'm just going to say, well, she's a woman. I'm not going to hurt her. No, and you burn my house down? Ain't going to do it. Would you agree with that?
No.
Okay, you're not going to agree with that? Or you see these, or you see these situations.
I just want to know, did your mama deserve it? I'm just kidding.
I don't know.
I'm just kidding.
But we shouldn't be joking about this. But
no, and we're not joking about this. This is just what we do.
Yeah, it's what we do.
I don't think there's. Yes, I think a man should be able to protect himself. Yes. But as far as
too many videos of where these women are provoking the men, and then the man knocks her out. The girl on the school bus.
Yeah.
Or the bus driver.
Some women had to come, but for the most part, walk away.
Yeah, in most places, that's what you should do.
Away, yeah.
And when a man walks away, don't follow him.
Right.
Leave him alone.
But, back to, holding other women accountable. I can't hold another grown woman accountable. However, to your point, I can speak out and say that it's wrong.
Right.
Again, I can't tell another person how to parent their child. Sure. I know what's wrong for me. Mm-hmm. But as far as your homeboy, trying to
indict everybody,
I just think it's too soon to let the lady, even though she's making some pretty silly decisions as far as putting this video out saying, memorializing her daughter with the split on the dick video. Her words, not mine. I think that's silly. But even though she's making those decisions, let her bury her child.
Yeah, and then maybe she needs to stop making statements. Also, she said something in regards to something on her chat where it was like, there's nothing wrong with being a cool mom. There's nothing wrong with being a cool mom. But be a mom, not a friend. Be a mom. And that's the difference. You are being a friend. She has enough friends. And you see with the friends she had with what it got her.
Yeah, and my mama, R.I.P., God rest her soul.
Beautiful woman. Oh, my God.
My mom, she was a mom to me. We became friends when I was older, that kind of thing. But my mom was never sitting up with me, hey, girl, what you do last night and how you do
Especially when you were ditching school.
No.
Your mom was like, where my daughter at?
Listen, I paid for when I did school. Okay? Yes. I paid for it, okay? But, I didn't have, my mom was a pet to me.
Right.
And so I don't know what schism happened with the parenting nowadays to where it is more of an environment. I'm your friend, my home girl. Let me tell you what I did last night.
You also remember.
I saw you in the club too.
Hot chick is a young mother. She was a young mother. Mm-hmm. So
and then she's got six.
Yeah, she's got 5 other kids. Uh-huh. And so I'm not saying that that's an excuse because when you have a baby, I don't care if you're 13, you better grow up. You better grow the fuck up.
Quickly.
And my question, nobody keeps asking that. I know it's not business. But where is the father or the father's people?
I mean, I think it's a good question. Is it a fair question? I don't know.
Is the mother's side? Where is the father's side?
Well, maybe her father is not in the picture.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But if you got an uncle, you see my nephew around here all the time. His dad is stationed down in Biloxi.
This is going to be another topic, and I probably have some women say, how dare you she-devil. But
where is the father's people?
Again, I don't know any of these people.
It takes a village to raise children.
I don't know any of these people, but just from seeing some of the footage that Teresa has put under her mom, maybe, and I don't know, maybe she was a wayward woman, to where you can't really say a whole lot to her. And,
well, it's obvious.
I can't think of you're a father. Mm-hmm. You don't have any girls. You got nieces.
Yeah, I got nieces. Ratchet.
I can't see too many dudes or fathers signing off on teaching your daughter that behavior.
Right.
So I think that's a good question. Where's the father?
Where is the father or the father's people? I'm sure she's got an uncle or aunt, somebody.
Maybe he's not here anymore. Maybe he's passed. I don't know.
And then you got 6 children. I don't know if they're all by the same guy or whatever. If you have multiple baby daddies, that says something right there. You can't even keep it.
I mean, again, this is not an indictment or even, I'm not even really trying to assess her life. But since people have made this portion of what happened, unfortunately happened to this girl, a topic, it does deserve some conversation.
Yeah,
like, what? Mm-hmm. How do you come to the conclusion to even have that conversation with your daughter about the split on the dick and
how does that even come
all
up?
that kind of stuff? But then, as you said earlier, you can't teach what you don't know. So maybe her mom doesn't know there's a better way to go about things.
And this goes back to our community once again falling into the trap of taking the easy you say it all the time.
The path of least
resistance.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, all I gotta do is have a baby. The government will give me Section 8. They'll give me food stamps. They'll do this. But then when you do that, you're living in Beirut. And then you're raising your children in Beirut. And Tommy says this all the time. If you love your kids like you say, wait. I know you don't. I
ain't saying
nothing. If you love your kids like you say you do, why do you take a whole lifetime to raise your kids in that kind of environment? Get them out of that environment.
Because you are living what you've been taught. It's a vicious cycle.
That's what I want to understand. Use your common sense.
Right. You think that's the way it's supposed to be. To a lot of people, they don't see anything wrong with that. And I'm not even necessarily saying there's anything wrong with living in the ghetto. But my dad admonished me a long time ago. I was probably like 24 or so. Mm-hmm. And I was living in an area that wasn't a great area, but it wasn't a bad area. And so there was some trash outside of my porch, not necessarily by my porch, outside. And so my dad is the type of person, he wanted to come over and he says, give me a broom. I said, why, Daddy? He says, because I'm going to sweep up this porch. I said, well, we have a maintenance man that does that. And that's not my trash. And he says, just because you live in the ghetto, and he was dead serious. He said, just because you live in the ghetto don't mean you have to act that way.
Right. And I said that all the time.
It's a state of mind.
And I say that all the time. The ghetto doesn't have to be trashy. Teach your damn kids to pick up the damn trash, pick up after themselves. Don't get me preaching in there.
Good Lord. Hallelujah.
Yeah, don't get me but these are the kind of things we're saying. But see, as a man, if I say that, you ain't gonna tell me nothing. It's like, golly.
I was listening to your home today, Shahrazad Ali. We should talk about her next week. And I've also been listening to Mo. She has some very interesting views on women and relationships, but we won't have time to talk about that, but we will.
Yeah, we will. But the thing is that's what I'm saying. Women hard on us because we're not standing up in the community. And then when we do, we get shouted down for, how we see it.
Well, this is the thing, too, and I'll say this as we're closing. Mm-hmm. You guys always say that, black women, can't build in the community with a black woman. Are you looking for that woman that you can build with, or are you looking for the woman who, can do a split on the dick and all this other stuff? Are you looking for a solid woman who is about the betterment of the black community and the betterment of your family?
Right.
Are you looking for a woman who can bring those things to the table?
But when you're raising young men, and there's been 2 generations of young men that have been raised by women that have no value because they see mama bringing different boyfriends.
Where's the father?
Exactly. And I said, the father has responsibility into it too. But again, if these women are saying, I don't want to be with you, they look at the child as a payday. This is just my opinion. The hotel has liability. Mm-hmm. It seems to me she's more focused on that damn payday, finding out what's wrong with her child.
Well, we don't know that. I'm just saying. I would just like to just say that I think she is truly interested in finding out what happened to her child. There's nothing like knowing.
Yeah, I understand that. But again, some of the parenting techniques, we all lied to our parents. But, even when I go into a party and I smell weed or drugs, I'm going the other way.
Right.
So again, and there's videos still coming showing at this girl's behavior. She was a party type chick or whatever. So it's just a tragedy, but everybody please use your comments. This has been the Donovan Sadiq Show. D, controversy. K, once again, keeping me honest, and I really appreciate that. But this has been a tragedy. We haven't given up. The video has been doctored. The question you guys need to be asking yourself is, why is that video doctored, and who did the doctoring? This is Donovan Sadiq. I'll catch you guys again next time.
Peace.